Welcome back to SAFC Live, and we're going to try and discuss all the incidents from that game. Sunderland losing by 5-1 down at the New York Stadium. Danny, we've said immediately after the game, it wasn't a result we were expecting at all, was it?
Well, no. I mean, after last weekend, disappointment here at the Stadium of Light against Charlton, and getting back on the horse in a way. Really, in the week, I said yes, we've made 7 changes to the team down at QPR in the week, but you get a good result and you come back up, and I'm sure the lads are in good spirits around the training ground. And you're going down there today, a lovely surface down there, and yes, Rotherham have been at it. They're 8 unbeaten with us going there today, 5 wins and 3 draws, so they're obviously full of confidence as well. But just sensed it from the first minute or two in the game. You set your stall out really for me, and I think if you're not quite at it in those first few minutes in the game, the game can get away from you in a way. And then Rotherham get themselves in front 10 minutes into the game, and we came back. We had a 10-15 minute spell maybe in that first half, but over the course of a half, that's 30 minutes where you're not quite doing the basics well, and you're not quite at it, and the game got away from us. We'll have a look at it.
Let's go through the action from the game, Danny, and then we'll look at the goals in a little bit more detail at the end of this. But
yeah, just here really, you can see we've got numbers back there, but we'd always seem to be almost at panic stations. We're scrambling round and just doing those, not picking up your men well. You see here, we were never quite sure who had Ferguson, whether it be Winchester, midfield runners there, and then you're getting Flanagan dragged out, doesn't do enough there really to stop that. Then it's panic stations there, and then you see you got Smith in the middle there. He's got 3-4 yards either side of him, 5 yards from goal, and just plants it past Hoffman, and that set them on their way. Just get another look at it back here really. I think Winchester can't really commit there in case he gives the penalty away. And then we're getting dragged about in the box, and it comes around that. There's always a source of a goal really for me when you're looking back 10-15 seconds before the goal happens as to where it's come from. And we weren't picking up runners, we weren't tight, we weren't committed in the tackle. Just have a look at this one. I think Luke O'Nien, maybe there's a shout there for a free kick. He gets the wrong side of his man, Ladapo, doing his defensive work. He gets caught on his heels, and perhaps he does give Luke O'Nien a little nudge. Another ball in from Diaco this time, over the top of everyone. Comes out to is it Luke O'Nien? I think just feeds it across to Embleton. See, this is when we were starting to get a little foothold in the game, and he catches that quite well, Embleton. But he's 25 yards out. It's a half chance at best. And here's the goal now. Bit of play. This is what we're capable of, and this is the frustration for me throughout the game. McGeady comes in off that left-hand side. Little give and go with Dan Neil, rolls it into Ross Stewart's path, just chops inside 2 men, and then drills it past the goalie. And now we're thinking, can we go and kick on? I think we'd had a 3-4 minute spell before we scored. You could sense we were coming into the game. And then we're thinking, right, is this the start of something good, really? Rotherham had a good spell before that. But once you get a goal, can you go and kick on and command the game, really, and have a good bit of a spell in the game? And we'll see 1 or 2 opportunities here, but overall, from the remainder of that half, Rotherham came back and finished it strong, and obviously we'll get onto that in a minute or two. You see this one here, now we're at 6s and 7s. That could have been a foul. The ref lets play go. Just look at the back stick. We're all over the show. There's 2 or 3 lads there, and if it's a better ball in, say Rotherham are getting another goal at the far post. This one, a free kick from far too many free kicks we give away throughout the 90 minutes. Again, we don't get first contact on that, but that was a sign of things to come for the second half, where we weren't getting in first contacts on enough of those balls coming into the box.
Rathbone there with the shot. He was a real thorn in Sunderland's midfield side.
Yeah, he was. He was bright, Rathbone, him and Wiles in the middle of the park with Barlasser just behind him, dictating play. They were good. Then this one there, you can see, I think Dan Neal just trying to roll Diaco in behind, but credit to the goalkeeper, Vickers. He was out sharp, and here's the goal now. We haven't seen the build-up in for this one. I mean, if we can look at it back 5-10 seconds earlier after where we give the ball away. But look at us in the box there. There's really 1 man to hit, really. We've got 3-4 men in the middle. I think you've got Flanagan in there. There's arms up. Lads are questioning each other. Doyle gets dragged out. He's just keeping an eye on the man there. No one's picking him up. Ball gets fizzed across. Flanagan's in a good position there. He's caught on his heels. And Ladapo just goes in behind him and gets there and fires it past Hoffman. This one is this is Ross Stewart's one, isn't it? It comes back to him. He wins the initial goal kick, flick on. And it comes back to him. It's a strike, 25 yards, catches it really well. Keeper's beat. But unfortunately, it comes back off the outside of the post. And that one would have got us back in, we'll say, in with a chance, wouldn't it, at half time? I think this is Embleton here, fires a ball in low. Yeah, just looking for the man. You can see we've got numbers in the box, but everyone's deep. No one's really taking a chance to get across the goalkeeper. And then
into the second
half now, yeah. We never said, obviously McGeady's been booked already. We haven't seen that one, but straight from kick-off, 10 seconds in, he got booked for pulling the man back. And here's the goal now, and you can talk about, as I say, formations and everything, but that's just a standard ball into that 6-yard area. And he just gets up there, free header, 5 yards out. It's
Michael Owikwe with that one.
Massively disappointing, that one. And there's McGeady's second yellow. I mean, we're talking Aiden McGeady, the experience he's got as a player. If that's one of the younger lads goes flying in, if it's a Sirkin or a Callum Doyle, then you're saying, oh, well, he's inexperienced. But no excuses for Aiden McGeady there. Perhaps frustration has got the better of him.
10 minutes between McGeady's cards.
Yeah, exactly that, yeah. And he knows as soon as he slid in there, he's late on his man. It's a second yellow. You can see how disappointed he was walking off. And he's let the team down, really. Yeah, not so much the game had perhaps gone at 3-1, but the work rate that the lads are having to put in now, and is the fourth one, isn't it? It's just a nice ball in, fed in there, but he just wants it more. Is it Smith at the far post? And you can see, and people have questioned us as a team, are we a little bit milky in terms of these balls coming up against the physical teams? But I think, look at the tests we've already come through in terms of Gillingham. We, down to 10 men there, we stood strong that day. Wickham earlier on in the season, known to be a physical team. But we've done well down there, we come away with 6 points. But today, those balls are coming in there, and 9 times out of 10 you felt that Rotherham lads were going to get on the end of these balls. See this one here, legs have gone now, the energy's been sapped out of the lads, but Miller's come on, the two wingers there.
Sadly as well.
Yeah, sadly come on there, does well, puts the ball to the far stick, and thankfully that one's over the top, or it does start to become a little bit more embarrassing than perhaps what it already was. We had a couple of half chances, for Corey Evans when he come late on. And this fifth goal, it sums it up for us really, doesn't it? Ball down the line. Ball comes back to Hoffman, tries to be clever, gets caught on the ball.
Kayope.
And then, just come on there, Cody. 5 yards out.
Easy
three goals help himself
second.
too. And it's, look behind the goal. Sunderland fans have well gone by now, and you feel that you've let them down in a way as well, because, what did we have down there today? North of 2,000, didn't we? Again, I think. I'm bitterly disappointed that we've let them down as well. So, listen, difficult one to take. What's the positives? There aren't any positives. You've asked for a man of the match. It's difficult to pick one. You've shipped 5 away from home against one of your rivals. What we've got to do now is get back to it. I'm sure Lee Johnson's been in the change room, tearing into a few of the lads there. Got to get back to it. Back to the training ground tomorrow. Perhaps debrief that. Lee Johnson might look at it and think, do I really want to go back into this when we've got to try and pick the lads up quickly to get ready for Tuesday night at Sheffield Wednesday.
Well, I think we're going to have a look through the goals now, Danny.
We'll
maybe we can
front,
try and figure out perhaps what went wrong in the action. If we just roll the goals, please. I do believe they're coming in a moment. We'll also have a look at the league table in a moment as well and give you all those scores from in and around EFL League One.
Yeah, I just felt this was a big issue for us to see where this starts with Ferguson. He picks the ball up. No one's sure who's really picking him up. And the ball comes out and there, it just snowballs on from there. Everyone's backtracking. When you're running back towards your own goal, you've got issues. And then when you stand the ball up like that for the 6'4" centre forward in the middle of the box who's top scorer in the league to help himself to his 11th goal of the season, then you've got issues.
Enough yellow shirts back there?
Yeah, there is. I think, Sirkin is awkward for Sirkin because he knows he's got a man behind, which you class as his man, I think, Ogbene. And then everyone's been dragged around, and it's like a snowball effect, and everyone's getting bumped on. But it's just disappointing. This one as well, let's keep an eye on the far side of the touchline there. Once that's set, it just gets rolled down the line, then we're getting dragged out. But even in the middle now, we're in a good position there. Flanagan's, what I would say, is the right side of his man, but he's just caught flat-footed. And then Ladapo was it, I think, just steals in behind him and gets on the wrong side of him. I think if you have another look now, if we were to stop it there, then Flanagan's actually in a good look. He's right side of his man, but Ladapo's just on the move. Flanagan's, I'd say, flat-footed, and then all of a sudden he's stretching and he gets caught wrong side of his man.
Let's move on to the next goal.
This is on to the third one. There's not much you can do. You work on set plays all day long, and that ball comes in. Now, it's an in-swinger. They're holding Hoffman under the flight of it. Is it not really getting fouled for me? That's where you've got your man, as the outfield players have got to do better and be bigger and stronger and look after it, and they don't. And it results in the third goal. This is the fourth one, no pressure on the ball. say Corey Evans has got a man outside him, can't really go steaming into the cross. But then you've got that there, you've got Flanagan in there, you've got Bailey Wright's perhaps, Smith pulled on Bailey Wright at the far side and he's got the run on him a little bit, but he's, Bailey Wright's a big, strong lad. He's got to do better. You see it there now. He knows where he is. You can see Bailey Wright, look, he's almost trying to pin him at the far post. I think Flanagan's got his man in front of him. And then Bailey Wright, doesn't jump, he's not strong enough to hold Smith. No, don't get me wrong, Smith's a big, strong lad. I've played against him before and he can handle himself. But from our point of view there, when you need your centre-halves to be big and strong and they're not, and then the last one sums the afternoon up, doesn't it? It's a mess. Bailey right there does okay to me. He could even play Flanagan. He has a loose touch, Hoffman. They steal it off us. And there's it Coyote, as you said there, comes on off the bench and just helps himself to their fifth goal. So all goals are obviously disappointing and you can debrief goals as much as you like. But that one there, you can just pop that off to Flanagan. They play a triangle and they're out. But, it's a heavy touch from Hoffman. And, we've looked through all the goals there. Disappointing as they are to go away. We shipped 4 down at Portsmouth. We've shipped 5 away. Say it's alarming for the defence, which is, 14, 15 games into the season has been pretty solid, I'd say. Flanagan's been excellent. Doyle has been pretty good throughout the season so far. But to go down there against one of your rivals and come away conceding 5, it's a bitter blow.
Okay, thanks, Danny. We're going to have a look round now at the other scores in EFL League One. Cambridge United 1, AFC Wimbledon 0, Charlton 4, Doncaster Rovers 0, Cheltenham 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2, Crewe Alexandra 1, MK Dons 4, Fleetwood Town 3, Wickham 3, Gillingham 0, Accrington Stanley 0, Lincoln City 1, Shrewsbury Town 1, Oxford United 3, Morecambe 1, Plymouth Argyle 2, Ipswich 1, Portsmouth 1, Bolton Wanderers 0, and Wigan winning 2-0 at home against Burton.
Yeah, so you look at that, don't you? Plymouth and Wigan both picking up results as well. Disappointing, Ipswich have been on a bit of a roll, so you might fancy them to go down to Plymouth today. But no, you've got to give credit to Plymouth. They keep going, don't they? Keep churning results out, so it's one of them as well. We know we're disappointed. You get back on the bus there, you're looking at results and hoping that the 1 or 2 have gone for you. I think Wickham drew, didn't they? But let's have a look at the table.
The league table for you, Sunderland sitting in 5th, having played 14 on 28 points. Plymouth are top of the pile, despite those games in hand Sunderland have on the pack around them.
Yeah, and I think it's disappointing, isn't it? You've still got the game in hand on 1 or 2, obviously 2 games on Plymouth as well. But we're still right amongst it, aren't we? It's disappointing. We've had back-to-backs. You've got Sheffield Wednesday. We weren't sure how they were going to go this season with what's gone on there, but they're in 8th. I think they drew 2-2 today. So they'll perhaps see that as a disappointing result. So it's a massive game at Hillsborough on Tuesday night for us. I'm sure there'll be a big following going down there.
Yeah, it's sold out as well, Danny.
4,000 Sunderland fans. So we've got to try and bounce back. We keep saying it, back-to-back defeats in the league. Charlton, I expect them to recover. They won at home today under Johnny Jackson, so they've picked up. But from our point of view, yeah, we've got to get going again. Okay,
thanks, Danny. Let's start now by looking at your thoughts using the hashtag AskDanny on social media. And this is the first one from Glenn, who says, Danny, does he think we can keep blaming the referees when we consistently give away needless free kicks? And that was a real issue this afternoon for Sunderland, wasn't it?
Well, it was, yeah. And I think he's asked the question. I wouldn't blame the referee at all today. I don't think... you can look at that from the first minute. As I said, we weren't at our game. We took time to get into the game, 20 minutes on the clock before we started getting going, and we got the equaliser. We keep giving too many free kicks away. We said it last season, didn't we? I thought recently we'd come away from that, but I don't know what the free kick count was today. You think it's probably up 20, 25 free kicks. Yeah. And when you, not just coming up against a team like Rotherham, who've got big units in their team and they get the opportunity to put balls in the box. We actually said Barlasser, his delivery wasn't quite good. Was it good enough from their point of view? He fizzed a few balls deep out of play, too flat for me, his distribution today. But it disrupts the flow of the game. And from our point of view, and I think when we're at our best, is when the game's flowing, when we can, teams come out and have a go at us and we pick the ball up, as we've seen for our goal today. 2 or 3 passes, we cut through Rotherham and we scored the goal. So I'm thinking, right, we're back at it here, but that went away from us again because we kept giving silly free kicks away. And we do it when the opposition players, whether it's the strikers or the midfielders who've got back to play and they're not going anywhere with the ball, just stand them up. But we're too keen to have a little bit of a nibble. Can we try and nick the ball off them? And we give these daft free kicks away. Gives the opportunity for the opposition to load the box and to put balls into their into the middle. But I wouldn't argue with any of the refs' decisions today, if I'm honest. I think you can look at Aiden McGeady sending off 2 standard yellow cards. His first one, he's pulled his man back 10 seconds after the second half started. And then that one, he's gone flying in, and the man on the touchline didn't get there, and it's a yellow card. And then the game's gone, really. They were 3-1 down. We've seen how difficult it was at Gillingham a couple of weeks ago, where we were in the lead and we managed to hold on. But today, with 3-1 down, game's gone. The lads looked drained. We'd used all of our subs. And it was a case of damage limitation, wasn't it? Unfortunately, we shipped 2 goals after that. So I'm not sure So we need to stop giving free kicks away. And in terms of blaming referees, there were 1 or 2 questionable decisions last week, but we got the rub of the green as well with that one at QPR in the week as well. So they balanced themselves out over the course of the season, I think.
Just seeing the match stats here, Danny. Rotherham had 55% possession to Sunderland's 45. 20 shots to Sunderland's 7. 8 shots of those on target for Rotherham, 4 for Sunderland. 5 corners, and Sunderland not even getting a corner this afternoon. How unusual is that for Sunderland?
Yeah, very unusual. Yeah, we usually double figures, aren't we?
And the foul count was 22 fouls Sunderland committed this afternoon.
So that sums it up, and I'm sure it'll be interesting to see what Lee Johnson has to say about the game as well. I know he had, it was like 20 minutes in, 25 minutes in, he got called, the ref come over, didn't he, to have a quiet word with him, so I'm not sure what he was questioning there, but I'm sure once we've seen his interview post-match to see what his thoughts were on the game, I don't think he'll question the referee today. I'm sure he'll have a look at the boys and our performance as a whole, and he'll know that wasn't good enough today. Okay,
thanks, Glenn. Let's move on to the next one then, please. This one's of Kev. It says, with all the experience Aiden McGeady has, should he know better not to make a rash challenge after being booked?
Yeah, of course. He's disappointed. I think, he's quite a fiery character, isn't he, Aiden? And I think he knows the game's going away from us. Was it 3-1 when he got sent off? I think it was, wasn't it? Just frustration. He's gone flying in there. I don't think he's ever really going to win the ball. And it's a standard yellow card. I've just mentioned it there. His first one's disappointing right from the kick-off. The man goes by him, he pulls him back, and it's a cheap yellow card. That gives a free kick away. And then that one there, second phase, I think, wasn't it? Was it a throw-in? It might have been, if we see it back, I'm not sure. But he's gone flying in, hasn't he? And he's nowhere near the ball. And he knows, you see his reaction, it's disappointing. He'll feel he's let the lads down tonight. As Kevin said there, is he 35 or 36, Aiden McGeady? Bags of experience. And if he could go back in time, he'll know, just put the brakes on, standing up on the touchline, he's going nowhere. So he's let the boys down. Yeah, we'll have a look at it back now. Yeah, so it's from a throw-in, isn't it? Feet and back. If anything, I think from the throw-in, the setup's wrong. He should be screening his man there with Dennis Sirkin behind him. So the throw-in's all wrong from our point of view. You see it there. Look now, Aiden McGeady is screening. He gets caught, switched off. Man's there. Sirkin should be the one behind him. McGeady should be screening him. Heavy touch there, comes back in there, and he goes flying in. Yeah, and linesman's a yard under his nose really. See Aiden McGeady, and look at his reaction there. He knows what's gone wrong. So he'll miss the game on Tuesday night. 1 game suspension, but it seems to be the case at the minute. We seem to be someone coming back in, and then we seem to be losing someone, don't we? So Embleton's come back in today after his suspension. McGeady will take a 1 game ban.
Thanks, Danny. Let's move on to another hashtag then, please. This one's from Get Off Comedy, who says, we seem to struggle against physical teams who play counter press. What can we do to improve against those sorts of teams, Danny?
Yeah, well, I think he's asked the question, but I think the physical teams who you're looking at there, Gillingham for me is prime example, and I think we've done well down there, didn't we? Yeah, we didn't start the game well down there, but we came into it, and we managed to nick it, and then we dealt with those balls coming into the box well. Flanagan and the other lads at the back down there dealt well. I think Bailey Wright came on that day, won a few headers as well alongside Doyle, and we stood up to the test. Wickham as well, another team renowned for being a direct team, beat them 3-1 at home. Today, set your stall out. It always comes back to me is, setting your stall out. How do you counter press it? He's asking, start the game well, get the ball down, and don't give them the opportunity to fire balls into the box and make us have to defend these balls, and we're not. And I've said it earlier on in the season where from free kicks and that, I don't think we're touch tight, we're marking well enough in the box. First contacts we're not better at. The opposition are seeing it today, didn't we? There was a deep one first half, it got knocked back. It's that one there, it's that first contact what we're not winning enough of, and then second ball becomes a bit of a lottery, a bit of a scramble, you're panicking. So we need to improve on that as well, and that comes from, you work for hours and hours on end on the training ground, and I'm sure the boys are, with Jamie McAllister, Lee Johnson, they're working at this. But once it goes out there, you cross that white line, it becomes down to yourself. You've got your men on the board in the changing room, you know, on the paper, you get your man wrote down as the centre half, Ross Stewart coming back. What are your jobs in there? So for me today, if I was in that team, perhaps I would have been given Smith. I'm up against Smith. I'm not letting him get first contact. I'm going to be strong, make it difficult for him. And I don't feel at times we're managing to do that. But at the same time, our game this season, I think we play better, don't we, in terms of getting the ball down, playing through teams. Look at the goal we've scored today. That wasn't there for long enough in the game. I think we've had a spell of 15 minutes in a 90-minute game today. So obviously that's where we're going wrong as well. But what are their strengths? Putting the ball in the box. They got the lad with the long throw, didn't they? The Harding.
Yep.
Every opportunity he was drying the ball, slinging balls into the box, which become a bit of a lottery. But we give them the opportunity to keep pumping balls into our box by giving away cheap daft free kicks, which we've got to put a stop to.
Thanks, Danny. Let's move on to the next one. This one's from Chris, who said, we struggle against physical teams that play a counter press. It's a very similar question. How do we improve against them? Do we need a plan B? Is there such a thing as a, you know, I thought we sort of saw that beginning of the second half. There was a couple of substitutions made, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I guess that goes out the window when you go down to 10 men.
Exactly that, yeah, you're down to 10 men. Straight from the kickoff, you know, we started giving free kicks away again, didn't we? So I think Lee Johnson tried to match them up. You know, we're not used to this season playing a back three or 3-5-2, are we? But he will have looked at it, and I mentioned first half the space that their wing backs were getting. Ogbenny was excellent. Was it Ferguson on the other side on the left? He was getting space. And they were getting touches, 2-3 touches, and they were putting balls into the box. So he's looked at that at half time and thought, how can we counteract that and counter press it? Is try and match them up. But 10 minutes, was it 10-15 minutes into there, we lose Aiden McGeady. That game plan goes out the window and it becomes, you know, damage limitation in a way, really. But in terms of a plan B, I think first up, and we've got to where we are in the league so far this season, is because plan A has been working more often than not. You know, We've played a good brand of football, I would say, so far in terms of trying to play through teams compared to last season. You know, with Dan Neil being a big plus point in that, in the creative side, through the middle of the park. Again today, look at the goal we've scored. Teams have come to press us, but we've beat the press. Aiden McGeady's coming off the line. He's coming into that central wall. Dan Neil's played a lovely little give and go with him. Plays that ball into Ross Stewart, and we're back on level terms. But we didn't see enough of that today. So in terms of a plan B, where do we go from there in terms of a formation? I think, if you're looking through where I think we've played our best game this year, and perhaps Cheltenham weren't great, but look at the game we had that night, 5-0, could have been 8 or 9. Look at the formation that night, I think was it almost a standard 4-4-2. Mm-hmm. Nathan Broadhead played up top alongside Ross Stewart, took the workload off him. They linked up excellent that night, and he's been injured since that game. So I think if we haven't really got another out-and-out striker on the bench. We've got Aidan O'Brien. You know, Deaku started their second half up there alongside Ross Stewart. But as soon as we get Nathan Broadhead back, the better. You know, get him up there, takes the workload off Ross Stewart. And it makes it more uncomfortable for centre-halves. They had a back three today. They were comfortable. They passed it around the back three. They dealt well with balls that came up to Ross. He was having to try and fight the centre-halves, but they were strong. And they dealt well with it. But if we can get Broadhead up there, to occupy one of the other centre-halves, that'll be another threat, and he runs in behind well. So that's our plan B.
Okay, this is the final one, I think, from Gary. He says, Rotherham have been dangerous for the majority of this game and play up two up front. Should Lee Johnson change to two up front before we step further down? That's obviously sent during the game from Gary there. And, you know, you did touch upon it there. Johnson did try and change the system.
Yeah, he did,
But, you know, you've got to do the basics right first. Yeah,
that comes down to that. And I knew we'd have questions in terms of asking about the shape of the team, the setup, and obviously, we haven't had too many about the personnel, really. You know, could he have played something different? But I just think you look around the whole of the starting 11 as well, really, and you asked the question just before the end, can I pick a man of the match out? And, you know, we're sat here and...
Sorry to do that.
No, to be fair, and you look most weeks, and I'm struggling to pick one, but it was a good way because we've had 5 or 6 standouts where we've had 7, 8, 9 out of 10 performers. This week, we're looking at 4s and 5s, aren't we? And there's not really anyone you can pick out and say he was fully on top of his game today. He was at it from the first whistle. It's difficult to pick someone. So he's asking the question there, should Lee Johnson have changed it to 2 up top? Could have maybe changed it in the first half, but I think once we got back to 1-1, he was thinking, well, let's get in at half-time and assess it.
Especially how easy Sunderland created that goal for themselves, just passing it through the centre of the park.
Yeah.
It looked quite, easy relatively, the way we looked for that goal. And then, of course, you know, we were pegged back again.
But he did. But prior to scoring, we had 3 or 4 minutes where we had Elliot Embleton had a strike, didn't he? We nearly got in with 1 or 2 others down that left-hand side, I think. So you could see there's some bright sparks coming out there. Thinking, oh, yeah, the lads have kicked into gear. Yes, we're 1-0 down after 20 minutes and we've not been great, but there's still 25 minutes of the half to go. But we only had 10 minutes, you see, of that last 25. We were good for 10. Go back to it. Kept giving free kicks away. Suited Rotherham, slows the game down, gives them chance to load the box and play in our half. And that was the case. So I don't think at that time maybe would it have affected it if we'd have changed the formation. I think Lee Johnson was just thinking at that stage, let's get in at half-time at 1-1 and see what we can do. But sure enough, they got the goal right on the half-time, didn't they? They got the goal to make it 2-1, and then he gets them in, and he does change it. He goes to a 3-5-2. He put Diaku up there just alongside Ross Stewart. You know, he brings Gooch on, right wing back. Sirkin came out to this left-hand side. Took 09 off, I thought that was a wise decision because he was on a yellow card.
Yeah.
His passing was off in that first half as well. The second goal, you know, he gave a straight pass to Callum Doyle, which led to the goal. So he did change it up. So I don't think you can question him in terms of, you know, could he have done things a little bit sooner? Perhaps not for me. And then it just goes away. You lose a man, and then it's game plan out the window. As we said there, it's not as if we're up against a lesser team where you think, well, listen, we're 2-1 down. We can still have a chance here up against the lesser team. You're up against a good quality team who are, as I say, 8 unbeaten before today, confidence in them.
Yeah.
And they put us to the sword. Fair play. They could have took their foot off the gas and settled at 3 and just kept the ball.
Yeah, let's not forget they only just came down from the
the
championship last season as well, although they are classed as a yo-yo club. Danny, thanks for your thoughts this afternoon. Remember, we are back in action. The lads have got to shake it off. And we go again on Tuesday evening, another big game. Sheffield Wednesday away, of course, at Hillsborough. 7:45 kickoff, which means we'll be on air from 7:15 here on SAFC Live. Thanks for being with us today around the world. Don't forget, on Tuesday, this is able to be purchased within the UK as well. So hopefully you can join us for that. But from us all here at SAFC Live, thanks very much. We'll see you soon.